Now, folks, a big round of applause for our winners of the Cookbook of the Year. It's James Kavanagh and William Murray, authors of the Currabinny Cookbook. You know, there was a lot of stiff competition in this category.
Oh, huge.
We're talking Nevin Maguire here.
Yeah,
we're
happy
talking
pairs.
the unhappy pair. And
The
look
grumpy
at
pair.
The grumpy pair. And look at the two of you, the real happy pair this evening. What does it mean to you to win this award?
Oh, it's insane. Like, when we were walking in, we're like, this is such a highbrow event. Like, there's so many, like, unbelievable literary people here.
As you can see, we don't even own suits.
No! We don't.
We love having you here. It's great. With your own trendy style.
Thank you very much.
You might tell us and introduce us, I suppose, to the world of the Currabinny.
Sure. So, I mean, the whole thing started with, I suppose, me and James. We're a couple as well as a couple in business, and we both love food. Both kind of came at it from different directions. I was more, making the food and
You're Ballymaloe trained.
I'm Ballymaloe
Yet
trained.
another successful graduate of the Ballymaloe school.
Shout out to Ballymaloe. And I mean, but both of us had cooked from a young age with our families, and I think more than anyone else, I think our mothers are to blame for
Shout out to the Maz.
For instilling this within us. But and then we started just doing markets because we had this, idea that, we love food, we'd like to share it with other people. And we started doing markets, which is a good way of, I suppose.
No overheads.
Yes.
It's important.
Testing your product out in the market, as it were. But and now we have a cookbook, which is sort of mad to think about.
You have an award-winning cookbook.
Award-winning cookbook.
Oh, you're on the money.
Oh, yeah. And the name Currabinny.
Yeah, so that's where I'm from in Cork. It's this little sort of idyllic place. It's a little forest on a peninsula in Cork Harbour. Very idyllic, very cut off from the rest of the world, but everyone, had their own little garden patch where they grew their own things, and there was a great sharing of knowledge of food, and I felt that it was sort of a microcosm of how wonderful the food tradition in Ireland is, about sharing knowledge, and it's about tradition and growing vegetables and sharing your, we've all eaten in all of our neighbours' houses and all that kind of thing, and that's what we wanted to celebrate with the Currabinny Cookbook. So I suppose the name Currabinny is in reference to that sort of ethos of sharing and community and all that kind of thing.
I think what's so interesting about you is that you're the ultimate combination of the kind of the good solid cooking, but getting that it's also part of sort of a marketing end, that you have to capture people's imagination. We know you as such a star on social media.
Thanks.
But when it came to getting the message out about Currabinny, that's where you were really able to shine. Maybe you talk us through a little bit how you use social media just to start that buzz around this whole little world you've created.
I'd love to give a more highbrow answer, but like it literally.
Try, it's a book award.
But it kind of started from me and William just at home, recording our lives on social media and Snapchat, and like I do things like creep out from corners and scare William.
Who would have a big chopping knife?
Who would have a big chopping knife.
Now we get very angry. Chop my finger off, and someday I'll stab you, and then there'll be tears and.
But we get loads of followers, so
We're still alive, But no, it started off from kind of just us recording our lives, and then he had just finished Ballymaloe. I was kind of finishing my career with Kerrygold, and we were cooking at home loads. So we'd be recording ourselves cooking and, like, I don't know, finishing a chocolate cake or whatever, and then someone would write back and say, oh, can you redo that bit in the chocolate cake? So it was a lovely two-way conversation we were having all the time with our followers. So then someone said, why don't you sell your food at markets? And that was 6 years ago. And then we were like, okay. And then, so the whole thing was driven by people that would follow us. So we sold food at markets. We started doing private catering events, all cooking from our house, really. So,
and it's sort of as a collaborative effort, the person who did all the photography of the book wrote to us before our first market being like, can I come along and take photos at your market?
Breed O'Donovan,
and that took just her writing an email to us, and we'd never met her before, and we were like, sure, turn up, take a photo. And now down the line, we had built that relationship with her from day one, and now she, has her wonderful photography in our book. The same thing with our graphic designers. So
it was a real collaborative effort. And we made it with friends. It's all our friends. And neighbours as well. Like, there's a recipe from my mum in the book, there's a recipe from his mum in the book, so it's...
And some Currabinny neighbours as well. in
Yeah.
there.
So I always, in a weird way, say it's kind of like, you know, we were pregnant for 2 years with this book, and then we gave birth to it together. Really weird image. But yeah, it really is kind of like our baby. Our DNA is in there.
An award-winning baby.
That's it.
We love your award-winning baby. Finally then, it's obviously going to be a big loud night here tonight. Thinking about all your favourite recipes, what would you recommend for all of us tomorrow? What recipe should we be thinking of?
Do you know what? I'd say the korma. The
Korma would be
Yeah.
great, or even just like a really simple chicken broth, or you know, something like that would be.
That's Helia.
Helia.
Yeah.
So
Something a bit gentle.
we're all back to yours tomorrow for chicken broth. Excellent.
Yes, you're invited.
Listen, take you and your award and your delight and
Thank
head off into the
you.
night. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
joining
so
us.
much.
Huge
You.
congratulations.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.